Yeah, what's up again, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into yet another oh-so-wonderful beginning to a great night here of Binding of Isaac Racing League action. And I'm just going to flip right on over and just let the racers speak for themselves. On the left, Mr. Cobaltstreak, your returning champion from last season, your Tennessee Titans, facing off against one of the tougher matchups up to this point for him. Going for the lead in his division, actually, now that I do my math, if I'm correct on that. Yeah, he'd have more wins. So going for the lead in his division, Mr. ZeroGamePlan, the St. Louis Cardinals representative on the right side. So again, we got two really, really good racers for this one. So this one's going to be good, guys. Strap in and prepare for some real fun here. If you're new to the league, welcome in, and allow me to explain. We do a best 2 out of 3 race with Isaac, or in this case, wow. Or in this case, a faceplant and cat on one side. But no, we take Isaac on both sides. We both have the same save file. Sorry, did I say Cardinals? Son of a biscuit. I meant Rams. Sorry. Jesus. I do that every time. I don't know why. Either way, I meant the St. Louis Rams. God. You'd think I noticed that with the blue color. They have nothing to do with Cardinals, but whatever. Moot point. NFL teams, guys. We'll get to that in a second, but we're going to race Isaac, best 2 out of 3, through the womb 2. Whoever kills Mom's heart first is going to get a point added to the zeros down at the bottom of the screen. Not the name, the actual zero. But I'm Tish. I'll be here all week. Sorry, I'm trying to recoup for the other bad stuff. Anyways, but point will get added to the bottom of the screen there. We'll reset both racers. We'll start from scratch again. On the way down, there's 7 items. Neither of them are allowed to pick up. Which, if I can get them listed out here, yeah, is Zoidberg. Our Dr. Fetus, Epic Fetus, Ipecac, Dead Sea Scrolls, Holy Bible, the Shovel, and the Toothpicks. Toothpicks being an odd one. You can actually take those if you want, but nobody has yet. We just allow them to be rerolled. So again, that's the only time you can use your D6s against those 7 items. Everything else is take it or leave it. These racers know those rules, though. Basically, other rules, everything glitch-wise, for the most part, pretty well banned. They know everything that's going on. We'll get to certain things when we see them. But again, these two are ready to go whenever they're good. We got them both in a call together. Let me get you the split link into both of their channels one more time. And there you go. So go say what's up to Cobalt and Zero. Excuse me. And again, they'll take off whenever they're ready. So yeah, feel free, guys. No rush, but again, whenever you're ready, we'll get this thing underway, and we'll have round number 1 of a best of 3 soon here. And again, if anybody's got any sort of questions, feel free to ask. If we get to any of the banned items, I'll explain why they're banned, because there's quite a few of them, and there's a lot of reasonings behind them, quite honestly. But for those that are wondering, we took votes within the league. Every single one of them was a 17-0 vote. Ooh, so let's see. We are off and running. We got 2 kind of interesting, at least, items to start with. Yeah, Cobalt's going to reset, too. He had Horror Babylon, ZeroGamePlan had Wiggle Worm. Both not exactly great items to start with, so looks like both are going to keep working back around, looking for something completely new to start off with here. And again, in a race situation, they're allowed to reset as many times as they want to. Holding down the R button will get you to have what Cobalt's having right there. You'll reset your run within probably a good 2 to 3 seconds. But again, in the race situation here, they're kind of looking for a pretty good first floor item. Anything damage up, they're probably going to take. Defensive items, they're kind of hit and miss. And space use items, really not too many of them get taken. Like Crack the Sky right there for Cobalt. No thank you. He's going to wind up resetting that. All right, so this, however, is going to be kind of interesting. We got Skeleton... Ooh, now we're definitely running. We got Skeleton Key on the left side for Cobaltstreak. After a couple of resets, Cobalt's always off and running. It almost doesn't matter what he is. Skeleton Key with 99 keys for the rest of the run. Definitely interesting, because if you get, let's say, a bombs or key pill, suddenly you have 99 bombs, and you're doing a lot of damage to everything in your path, or bombing right through all of your doors. So that's a huge find right there. That's actually pretty good. It's a little questionable for the first item, but at this point, Cobalt's going to run with it. Because he may know, he may not, but ZeroGamePlan has got the mulligan, which you'll notice those flies right there are going to pop out of him every now and then. They're huge damage multipliers by comparison to his normal tiers. So they do a lot more damage than he normally does. He's going to fire them out kind of randomly here. But again, very, very nice find. Mulligan is great, especially early on. So Zero's going to be a very happy camper. You can see he's a little bit further through his Monstro fight at the moment than Cobalt is. And just about to finish it up, honestly. Yeah, the mulligan's a great first floor find. A bunch of pills here. Well, we do have 2 of the same, so Zero will try that. Ooh, tears down. No thank you. Got Balls of Steel times 2. Or, I'm sorry, 1 of them, I should say. So 2 soul hearts for him. More friends till the end, so more flies for Zero. So only the 1 bad pill. Not too terrible. Much better find for Cobaltstreak, though. He's got the pentagram, so damage up for Cobaltstreak. He's going to head back. Oh, and wishes that he had 15 cents right now. Wow. Come on, be 15 cents in that secret room. Oh, God. Oh, there is. Wow. Double good finds here. Cobalt finds that 15 cents he wanted. Blue candle for Cobaltstreak. No question. Yep, there it is. The carry candle. However, on the right side, we've also got, Mulligan plus Polyphemus now for tiers. Uh-oh. We got us some builds going here, guys. This is going to get real fun real fast. So, Curse of Darkness, as Cobalt moves on, you won't be able to see his mini-map whatsoever, but we've got 2 ridiculous builds right now. Alright, there's a new boss fight for Cobaltstreak, and he's going to head right on in. Question is now, and everybody, it's Famine. We all know what to do, and do it quickly, because he's going to get melted by this blue candle. But everybody say, to Famine. And there that goes. We got 1 cube of meat that'll be an orbital floating around Cobaltstreak doing damage blocking and actually damaging anything walking into it. No thanks on the devil deal. Cobalt's going to be fine without his item room. He's happy enough with that blue candle, I think, and he's just going to move on. So, race situation. Cobalt's skipping item rooms already, folks. He doesn't care about the keys, so that's why he's leaving that behind, if anybody's wondering. Obviously, with the skeleton key and 98 of them, Cobalt's going to be okay. So he doesn't need to worry. Oh, hey, we get to do it again. Real quick before he gets melted, everybody say, hey, to Famine. Because Zero's just about to melt him himself, get his own cube of meat floating around. All those Famine haze. God, I love it. And there he goes. Another devil deal showing up on Zero's side. And, oh, wow. Technology in the mark. Yep, technology it is. I saw that one coming a mile away. So, laser tears now also for ZeroGamePlan, and immediately finding his item room. Ooh, with the Book of Shadows, 12 seconds of invincibility. Wow, these builds right now. Oh god, that laser. Yeah. That poly laser, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen that once already this year, but I was waiting to see it before I said anything. But Polyphemus, Mulligan, and Technology 1 for ZeroGamePlan now. Yeah, that's a laser, folks. But again, Cobalt finding his boss fight immediately is going to start taking out Yellow Peep here, already almost 50% of the way through. And Zero just looking for his boss fight at this point. I'm sure he may start skipping item rooms should he not come across them either. Just like Cobaltstreak, I think Zero's going to be happy with this build as is. A little more health up on Cobalt's side, one more devil deal. Oh, the Pact, absolutely. Damage up, fire rate increase. Oh, and he's going to take up his tail. That's kind of, I'm surprised, honestly. Oh, wait, no, I forgot he has all the keys. So Guppy's tail is going to spawn more locked chests for Cobalt, which gives him a lot better chance. He's going to be able to open every single one of them. So you might as well, I guess. But also gives him 1 piece of Guppy towards his 3-piece to make it. So more damage for Cobalt. You see the red tears. He's firing faster and still has the blue candle. Yeah, all the keys forever. And again, less Cobalt, and Cobalt doesn't take many pills, so he's not finding a bombs or key at this point, that's for sure. He is not going to drop a pill. Yeah, we got Zero wearing Diana's crown once again. Wanted a little bit of money there, picked up Pageant Boy at the end of his boss fight, so a little bit of money more on his side. And now he's on Caves 2 as well as Cobalt. Both have found their item room now as Zero's walking into his here. And, ooh, Team Bean, definitely not this time, though. That 12 seconds of invincibility going to come in far handier for Zero. So the Bean gets left behind, sadly. That would have been poison damage to anything in the area, or radius, I should say, of effect of that Bean. Basically makes you fart. Let's just call him like we see him. Makes you fart poison. Yeah, it happens. Anyway, Zero directly onto his boss fight, getting Peep himself and ripping on through. So he'll have himself a very slight advantage here. One more shot, and there you have it. The item box, one of every type of item, from key, coin, bomb, card, pill, trinket, in this case the left hand, which Zero may be leaving behind. And indeed he will. Left hand would have spawned nothing but red, not nothing but a heck of a lot more red chests for him. So he's going to leave that behind, not even bother. Red patch now for ZeroGamePlan. If he gets hit, has an offhand chance that it raises his damage for the room he's in, and you'll notice by it ripping the skin off of his character. Blue Baby's soul that he just left behind would have floated around the room shooting out homing tears in an odd kind of X-shaped pattern, if you will. God, that build, that laser is just filthy. Cobalt's found his boss fight here, so he's going to get the hollow and probably rip right through it. There you see it. That chain reaction basically just one-shot the boss. Two-shot if you want to count all the extra spawns. Wow, 3 of the same pills? Yeah, and they're all bad gas. So third Devil Deal for Cobalt, almost guaranteed that you're going to get this Krampus fight. Now, after the pickup, Cobalt's going to get a lump of coal. As his shots move further on screen and basically move further away, they're going to get bigger in size and do more damage. So great item again here, more damage for Cobalt. Both of these builds are kind of disgusting right now. Like, I'd be really ridiculously happy with both of these. Ooh, and a loading screen for Cobalt going into the depths. Usually somewhat indicative of an XL floor. We'll see what happens. If it ever goes through the loading screen. I hate when this happens. Our racers have to just hate this. Video Game Freak, you here? Wait, how do you feel about loading screens, Video Game Freak? Sorry, that's a bad memory, but nonetheless. At this point, it's taken too long. He's probably got a regular floor, and indeed he does. That's just a regular Depths 1. If it would have flashed right through, guaranteed XL at that point for him. But when it takes that long, you're looking probably more like 80% chance that you're going to get a regular type of floor. And indeed he does. So both on Depths 1, Zero just coming across his boss fight has cleared the entirety of his floor. So pretty good advantage for him at the moment. Alright, one more soul heart out of that rock, and moving on in, gonna get Gish. So Little Gish will be the reward off of this, a follower with tar shots coming out, so even more damage on Zero's side every time he fires. And again, that'll have a slowing effect both on the movement speed and shot speed of anything that, well, yeah, actually shot speed was the right word. But the shot speed of anything that happens to hit it, kind of like if you're walking through a tar ball like on the ground here against Gish. Same theory. Also gonna get some health up with that Eternal Heart. And wow, Zero's not even gonna bother with the Devil Deal. I may have gone in there to see if that was cold, quite honestly. I may have thought about that, because if that was Krampus, you're going to melt him, and that could have been more damage up. But Zero going to say absolutely no thanks, doesn't even care. And moving right on down to Depths 2, he's looking in basically race mode at this point. He's happy with his build. Ooh, that dodge. Nicely done. There we go. Now Zero can get out of that room. Nice job in that room. I have a hard time, especially with technology or brimstone in that room. I always wind up taking damage. Yeah, the laser on Zero's side is, by the way, Polyphemus, Mulligan, and Technology 1. Speaking of that, he doesn't care about item rooms right now, so moving on directly into his mom's foot fight. ZeroGamePlan on the right, going to give himself even more of an advantage time-wise. And again, the item's kind of moot point right here. But he will not get his item room here. Well, he can teleport out. I take that back. He does have a Fool card. He can teleport out of this room after he's done. I doubt he will, but he could do it if he wanted to. He's considering it and saying no thanks. He knows Cobalt's on his Depths 1 boss fight, and he's going to move down to the Womb 1, so full-on floor advantage at this point for ZeroGamePlan. Yeah, that Inner Compass. Casper, how much money do you make, man? Good God, shaming Bill Gates at this point, sir. At least you better be. If you're charging way less than you should be per hour, then you're getting ripped off here, because you've been loaning this thing out, bro. Alright, Moon card for Cobalt. We'll teleport him directly into his secret room. And let's see if he can't happen across. No such luck. He was looking for a one-room entrance into a boss fight if he were real lucky there. And great use of the Book of Shadow there by ZeroGamePlan. Gonna just let Gertie Jr. stand right on top of him, melt him to death. Great job. A little bit of health up and moving on along. So again, in the Womb, you're only looking for the boss fights. You can get a few special rooms, but there are no item rooms and no stores. Those are kind of the important ones that you could find. None of those exist in the Womb. On that note, Cobaltstreak going to look to move down to the Womb in just mere moments here. He's got the blue candle. You can hit any of the closed doors with that as well and still damage Mom. Right there. There you have it. So that is perfectly acceptable. It's just one of those coding things. So he's going to melt Mom's foot. There you see it. Get Squeezy for a couple of health up and fire rate increase, and he'll be moving on down to the Womb himself. So both on the same floor at the moment, both just looking for boss fights. I think at this point, Cobalt may have wasted that last bomb, honestly. We'll see how that pans out for him. Oh, anything can change. It's all a matter of finding the boss fight. If Cobalt finds his, like, instantaneously, that gives him an advantage. If Zero comes across his right now, then he's really got an advantage. And see, there's one of those special rooms I was talking about, a possible library. Zero's happy with his Book of Shadows, though. He isn't even going to think about going in. That would be a time... I don't want to call it a waste, but that would be time-consuming at this point, and Zero doesn't really have time to waste here. Cobalt's right on his tail. Technically, they're dead even at the moment. Zero's cleared a lot more rooms, but technically speaking, these two are dead even. Yep, it's all a matter of who finds the bosses. And there you see it, Zero's found his first, so a very slight advantage. And again, keep in mind the damage on his quote-unquote tears. Well, it's really a laser. But he's going to melt right through Conquest with that 12 seconds of invincibility. Won't have to worry about those beams of light quite yet. Here you see Conquest already 50% of the way down within that 12 seconds. And Cobalt's still finding dead ends here. Not really so much a dead end. That is a challenge room, but not really worth it in this situation. He's got to catch up and find this boss fight as quick as possible. And there you have it. So Zero will most likely, I was going to say, leave behind the pony. No chance of taking that with. He wants the invincibility with Book of Shadows, but moving on to the Womb 2, looking for just one more boss fight. And speaking of that, Cobalt has found his, so this is still dead even here, guys. No way, shape, or form does Zero have an outstanding lead. It is very minimal, and Cobalt's into his Womb 1 boss fight, Triachnid in this case. And notice, already 25% of the way through it. This is going to go pretty quickly here. Alright, well, Zero needs that bomb, so he's going to backtrack only slightly there. A little bit of health up for Cobalt, and onto the Womb 2. So, ooh, Curse of Darkness. This does not help me decide where he's at, nor does it help him. But we'll see which one finds this boss fight first. Zero with another dead end. Only 2 bombs left, so he's got to be real careful. Yet another dead end. This one he's just going to melt through, though. And I'm going to head back on along. Where is this boss fight for both of these? Again, Cobalt, I can't really tell you what he's looking at on the minimap. It is darkened with that Curse of Darkness, so very hard to see. See, Zero going to pour it out as he knows he's in another dead end, and now he knows he's going towards his boss fight. Matter of where it splits after this. Cobalt still now looking at his boss fight, going to head on in. Ooh. This one's going to get close, guys. Cobalt definitely in an advantage right here, especially with that blue candle being able to hit bombs hard all the time. Only the 3 bombs left here, but that should be plenty for him. Again, Zero just melting on through. Which way do you go? Where is this fight? He's going to need it really fast. And I don't know that that's going to do it. Oh, no, that's a dead end. That's painful right there. So that may be it. Cobaltstreak's got himself a huge 50% damage cushion here on Mom's Heart. So that one may well wrap this first round up for Cobaltstreak. There you see Mom's Heart staying out the rest of the time. Not too much Zero can do at this point except pray, and it's already over. So there it is. Wow. That, I don't want to call it a comeback, but man, that was an interesting finish to that one, I gotta say, because that came right down to the wire. I'm waiting to see where this boss fight is on Zero's side. Right here, I bet. Lo and behold. Wow, that's how close that one was, guys. Look at how close Zero was to his boss fight, especially with the build that he had. Yeah, that says it all. The gift says it all right there. Oh, wow. 1-0 for Cobaltstreak on just an insane run on both sides. Those builds for both of these guys, I can't even put words on that, guys. But wow, great race, you two. Seriously, well fought on both sides. Cobalt's got a 1-0 lead. We're going to get both of them reset, as you can see. They're probably going to run some ads, as am I. Excuse me, sorry about clearing my throat there. I need to get some water, though, as you can probably hear. So go do the same. Give us about 2 minutes here. We'll be right back on the other side. Go say what's up to Zero and Cobalt. We'll get the link in chat for you right now. And go say what's up to them. Tell them amazing race, and tell them good luck on the next one. We'll be right back in 2 minutes, and we'll continue on here, guys. Thank you again. Go grab some water like I'm about to. Alrighty, we're back and we're clear. Let me get the switch on over. Yeah, if you guys want to link up the individual channels for the racers too, that'd be awesome. Let me get you a split link into both of their channels at the same time, if nothing else. Excuse me. Basically, if you take ZeroGamePlan's name at the end of that, or Cobaltstreak's, and copy and paste that to the end of twitch.tv/, that'll get you into both of their channels, but please guys, if you would, link up both of their individual channels for me, that'd be great. And that was supposed to switch over. That's the button I was looking for. That's the one we were trying to do. On that note, so we're back and we got round number 2 just about to start. There's Cobalt's link, and we'll get zeros for you in a second here. Excuse me, but we're just about to start up round number 2 here. We got Cobaltstreak with a 1-0 lead on a really hard-fought victory in that last round. That was an insane first round between these two. Insane builds on both sides. But again, that was incredibly well done on both racers' parts. That was really, really hard fought, and we're going to have another one at least here right now as we got round 2 starting up. ZeroGamePlan going to look to tie this up in 1 apiece. Cobaltstreak going to look to win his 2nd in a row, win the night 2-0, and continue his undefeated streak. So good luck to both of you guys. Whenever they're ready, they're going to take off and try to race through the womb too. So whoever beats Mom's Heart first is going to be your winner. And again, it's just a head-to-head matchup between them. I know there's a lot of people that want the clock on there. I'm not going to add one, only solely for the fact that I would have to add 2, just because there's this weird delay between both streams when I'm recapturing them and watching both of them. That makes it almost physically impossible for me. That would be really hard at the start of races. 2 clocks is kind of hard to manage, let alone, it's just really kind of not worth it. We're not speedrunning so much as racing, so I don't really care if the racers want to do it, though, and show off what time they got, by all means. That's perfectly fine. But I don't really have room to run 2 counters, so if they want to show it after the race, by all means, feel free, guys. That's perfectly awesome. I have no problem with it whatsoever, because I'm totally cool with it. It's still about time, so. But yeah, you guys are good to go whenever you want. There's Zero. Dat love. Dat love. But again, good luck to both of you guys, because this one's going to be hard fought once again. If you guys are here for the first round, Cobalt had himself a damn good damage up build with Pact and a whole bunch of other nice things. Actually still beat Zero, who had Polyphemus, Mulligan, and Technology 1. Ridiculous lasers and flies flying out all the time. It was a pretty nutty build. Do it to it. Love it. Alright, so they're moving just slightly, looks like, and there you go. They're going to be off and racing, and again, there's that weird delay showing up. Zero will take off in a moment, and there you go. Oh god, let's see those no fetuses on Zero's side. Halo of Flies, not bad, but nowhere near as good as that odd mushroom that Cobaltstreak got himself. So damage up and health up. Speaking of health up, the Balchinian would have been a health up there for Zero, again saying no thanks, he wants some sort of damage item here. But again, one of the banned items, Dr. Fetus, right there, would have turned all of ZeroGamePlan's tiers into bombs. That would have been great to catch up to Cobalt, but we banned it just because of that reason. Ghost Baby, no thanks. Follower with base damage tiers and spectral ability, not so great. Chemical Peels damage up. Well, there we go. Now we're off and running, so we got both racers with some damage up here. Again, Cobalt the advantage with the health up and knowing where his boss fight is, which of course is ZeroGamePlan. Yeah, he's fighting Zero. Yeah, Crumps knows what he's saying. It's famine, everybody say. The hell, I'm looking over at the right side and like, Todd, Zero. Herpity derp, Crumps. I'm gonna catch hell for that one. Alright, so famine about halfway down, so Cobalt's still with the advantage as Zero's come across his boss fight here. Might as well take the random pill with you, I guess. They'll hold on to that for a little bit later. And speaking of famine, hey, guess what? Zero is fighting famine. Everybody say, once more. So both are going to get the cube of meat that Cobaltstreak just got, which, again, an orbital floating around, going to block some shots and do damage to anything walking into it. If you fight more horsemen, you'll wind up with more of those cubes, and it'll build into full-on Meat Boy at one point later on. We'll get to those as we see them. So Cobalt knows where this item room is, though again, no key to get in quite yet. Same problem on Zero's side if he comes... Well, there's that key that Cobalt needed. I'll just shut up now. Totally forgot that was there. But again, Zero does not have a key himself, so he's going to have to search. We got the bomb bag on Cobalt's side, so every few rooms that Cobalt's going to clear out, he'll wind up with a bomb spawn out of there. Yeah, I mean famine. Bomb bag's actually a really good item, quite honestly. I wouldn't call it a carry item so much, but getting a lot of bombs in a race situation is really, really good. Those come in so handy. And I do believe Casper was the one that proved that earlier on. Yeah, it was your run, wasn't it? Where you got all the freaking bombs out of that bomb bag. Yeah, you would. I wonder why. Ooh, speaking of nice things, we got a golden key on Zero's floor, and yeah, he's going to go for the one bomb that he's got to take that. Infinite keys now for the floor that Zero's on. And Cobaltstreak's come across Gemini for his second boss here on the basement. So melting right on through, already a good 15 to 20% of the way done. There's that item room for Zero. So again, he'll not use either of those 2 keys that he's got. Now, Mom's Bra, pretty decent way to wind up replacing your D6, especially early on. You're going to be able to freeze enemies in place for a couple of seconds and just be able to walk right up and do a ton of damage to them. Yeah, but Famine only wants hugs. And we got the Widow showing up, so there you see the freeze effect on Zero's side, and he's just going to make sure the Widow doesn't move on him. Already over 50% of the way done, so he's catching right up to Cobalt, who just finished off Gemini. Lots of health up for him. There's the Widow dying. And no extra spawns of spiders there. So the item box gives one of every type of item to Zero. Ooh, along with a Sun card, very nice. Maggie's Faith, by the way, going to give him, as you see, he goes down to the next floor, 1/2 an Eternal Heart there. Beginning of every floor, Zero's going to wind up with one of those because of his trinket. The Sun card, 3-use card, going to give a full-on map reveal, damage to everything in the room, and a full red heart heal to Zero whenever he uses it. So he's going to hang on to that for a little bit later in hopes of finding an XL floor that he can get through really quickly. Yep, exactly. D6 is only allowed against the banned items. And yep, you saw ZeroGamePlan knocking down a golden poop, getting a bunch of money out of that. Praise the Sun card. God dang it, we need a bunch of emotes that wind up spelling that out across the league. Like, somebody get praise, somebody get the, which really sucks, but you get the idea. And then somebody gets Sun card. Alright, so Cobalt ripping on through the husk here. Just a couple more bombs to take out. Woo, that dodge. Yeah, I was going to say he's trapped in a corner on that one. Cobalt, by the way, holding onto a Lover's card that'll spawn 2 full red hearts for him whenever he chooses. We'll have to see if Cobalt's going to be willing to skip this item room. Being that he's in his boss fight already, I'm guessing he might. A little bit of range up with Mom's heals, and indeed, down to Caves 2 will go Cobalt. Alright, new trinket on Zero's side. Ooh, and boss fight and item room. Very nice. Anyways, Judas's Tongue, should ZeroGamePlan come across a Devil Deal with red heart Devil Deal items in there, they will only cost 1 red heart for him now. So you can get a lot of really good stuff, including actually health up out of that room now. Because if, let's say, you get the pact, you're going to get 2 soul hearts for the cost of 1 red. So really not a bad trade. Also, very nice X-ray vision's going to wind up, there you go. Zero's going to get all of his free entrances and exits from all of his secret and super secret rooms. Which looks like he may go back and check for that Super Seeker really quickly in hopes that he gets a health up before he goes on to his boss fight. We got Guppy's Paw, speaking of turning red hearts into blue hearts. Cobaltstreak's got Guppy's Paw, which every red heart container, empty or full, doesn't matter, can turn into 3 blue hearts for him anytime he chooses. That's also one of the 3 pieces of Guppy that he needs. So building that up a little bit earlier this time. Also, we are now into the boss fight here on Caves 1 for Zero. He's got Pestilence, so that'll be a second cube of meat floating around now. Again, that'll build onto the one that he's got, not be a second. I should say that wrong. Or I shouldn't say that incorrectly. But it'll wind up shooting out tears as well as still blocking shots and doing damage to anything that it touches. So that actually becomes one of the 2 best orbitals as far as this race goes. I don't know, Sacrificial Dagger is actually way up there too. That does a lot of damage, but I prefer shot blocking ability and damaging ability, no matter how small that damage is. I prefer getting the damage blocking a lot more. And yep, we've had 3 people become Guppy this year. I think it's 3 people. Might be 4. Ah, there's that second Eternal Heart for a guaranteed health up for Zero. He doesn't even have to worry about it, honestly. Either way, he's going to get this health up. So Zero's going to leave it behind. Same theory, if you take that half a heart onto the next floor, you notice that turned into a 4th red heart for Zero. If he would have picked up the other half, it would have done the exact same thing just on the previous floor. So it really didn't matter. Zero just, I would call that saving time, but technically it did the exact same thing. So he just moved on to the next floor. We're on the Caves 2 on both sides now. And there's that item showing up for ZeroGamePlan first on the right side, so we'll call that a very slight advantage at the moment, though again, we've noticed both racers are more than willing to skip item rooms. So it's really more about who comes across our boss fight first. Either way, the item could make a huge difference, so we'll see what Zero gets momentarily here. Excuse me. What's up, Dex? How you doing? Alright, Chariot card, nowhere near as useful as that Sun card, so Zero will take that back with him. Speaking of boss fights, we've also got Infestation for that item room for ZeroGamePlan. If he gets hit, now he will spawn a friend till, or a couple. Actually, how many is it? I think it's a random number of friends till the end flies. I can't exactly remember what the total is. Either way, Cobalt on into his Caves 2 boss fight, using that Chariot card for the, 7 seconds of invincibility with, and damage dealing with that Unicorn Horn. And you see he rips right through pretty much 90% of the damage to be done on Gertie. So very nice timing on that. But again, like I said, it's all about finding the boss fights for these two. I don't know that either really cares about finding their item rooms so much. Cobalt's got plenty of health. He already has 1 damage up with that odd mushroom from the very first floor. How's it, Mutton? Doing good today. About yourself? And a little more range up for Cobalt. Now he may go back for that item room, because he was hoping for something a little bit better than more range on that one. And indeed, he's going to bomb right back out of this room he's in. Yep, Cobalt's looking for some items now. So again, with more range up there, Cobalt's pretty well maxed out on range. Did not need that in the first place. Had he gotten maybe some health up or maybe a damage up item out of that room, heck, maybe even a devil deal, he may have skipped this item, but going back for it now. Hey, it's that guy that was in the back row dancing at SGDQ. Ooh, that'll work out decently enough. So, piercing shots with Cupid Zero for Cobaltstreak. That'll be worthwhile to have gone back a couple rooms for. So now, anything that Cobalt winds up basically killing with his tears, like you'll notice, like Zero's tears stop when they hit something. Cobalt's, even if he doesn't kill them, they'll just keep flying right on through, and at full range on his tears, that may help out quite a bit, honestly. Along with this loading screen error, we'll see how this plays. This could... if it clicks through... Aha! There we go. Like I was saying, if it flashes through like that, you got yourself an XL floor. So Cobalt with the Curse of the Labyrinth... Ooh, just accidentally used his key on a store that I don't think he meant to do. Well, then again, he's picking up money early on here if he wants to, so we'll see if he goes back. Either way, accidental store opening right there, if I'm not mistaken, but Cobalt's going to have 2 item rooms and 2 boss fights here on the depths combined together into one. So let's see, back for that Sun card. Zero will be moving on to his Depths 1 himself. And again, no XL floor for him, so regular Depths 1. Yeah, it's Giant Zero. That was Horror Babylon being activated with the Empress card, by the way, for Zero. And again, he used that just for the 1 room, went back, made sure he got that Sun card. Oh, a little bit of frame drop for a moment there. Welcome to my problem from last night. Alright, where are these boss fights and item rooms going to be? It's all about coming across your boss fights here. And again, Cobalt's been pretty willing to skip over some stuff at this point. If he had a bomb, we would say judgy please right now, but no bombs for ZeroGamePlan, so we'll just leave him sitting in the middle of those rocks. Absolutely can, Riley. And I got beat to it, but there you go. There's a split link to get into both of their channels for anybody wondering. Ooh, and there's the 2 back-to-back boss fights for Cobaltstreak, so that Enter Compass. What do you do here? Are you willing to skip over 2 item rooms in the sake of time in the race? Wow. Decision time. Cobalt's gonna kill the first at least. We'll see what happens. Ooh, this'll help. So again, piercing shots against, against Carrion Queen, definitely a huge help. You can normally only hit her in the rear end, basically. But again, with piercing shots, you can hit her in the rear end by shooting her from the front. So this works out quite nicely for Cobalt. But again, we'll have to see if he's willing to go on to the second boss fight right away and not get his 2 item rooms here on the Depths XL. It may just be all about the time at this point. He's got plenty of health. So with the item box, gonna grab another Soul Heart, I should say, I'm sorry. Let's see, decision time. 2 of clubs doubles up the amount of bombs Cobalt had. And indeed he's going to, so on to Mom's Foot here. A huge advantage right now for Cobalt as he got through his Depths XL in literally as few rooms as humanly possible. So again, on getting Grey Mom here, regular version of her, nothing too scary as far as the spawns go. You just have to watch out when they do start building up on you. So you can see Cobalt's going to stand right in the dead center, take care of all the spawns. He doesn't, well, he does have one orbital, but just not worth going by the door at this point. Ooh, just dodging that one. Again, Zero onto his boss fight, going to get Monstro 2 here. And you'll see there's a little pattern you can use. We're not going to worry too much about it as he freezes Monstro. But you notice he was moving side to side, making that Brimstone go side to side. Watch the face on Monstro. He'll do 2 little glitches. Just move to the side afterwards. 1, 2, move. 1, 2, move. And he'll just keep in this exact pattern going side to side. Nothing he can do about it, and he's stuck there. So that makes that a real easy boss fight for ZeroGamePlan. He'll be on to Depths 2 momentarily, but again, going to be a full floor behind Cobaltstreak in a few seconds here. Because Cobalt cannot get back out of this room unless those happen to be telepills, and he happens to use them, but I don't see that being the case. Again, keep in mind, Cobalt's also going to get a nice advantage here with using Guppy's Paw. He's going to use up all the red hearts that he has. He's guaranteed the Polaroid at the end of this fight. And then, ooh, there's that item rip for Zero, but a hell of a room he'd have to clear. I think we're going to say no thanks to that. And indeed, he's backing out. Man, there's a little bit more health up if Zero... Yeah, might as well. So he's going to take it now. It's protected by the blue hearts. He might as well. Again, though, Cobalt going to use up all of his red hearts soon. And probably going to wait till he's empty on him. But even so, going to use up all of his red hearts. And then with the Polaroid, every time you get hit, that's going to give you a 5-second damage shield. So we'll see that a little bit later on. Cobalt's going to save the hearts for now because red hearts are far easier to replace than blue hearts are. So he'll hang on to what he's got. You can use empty red heart containers to do that, keep in mind. So there's that room cleared. Ooh, worked out decently. We got technology too for ZeroGamePlan. So now that'll be an almost constant firing laser coming out of his eye. There you see it. I'm almost kind of surprised he took that. I guess he's got enough damage up with everything else that it works out okay, but we'll see how this pans out. Yeah, advantage, Polaroid. No, it's a huge advantage. And again, Cobalt does have damage up, and he's got the bomb bag, so he's building up... He's at 6 bombs right now, so he's building up a nice little arsenal of those. There's 2 more for 8. So he's got a nice little arsenal to get back out of dead-end rooms just like this if he wants to, or to actually use against boss fights when he gets them. Speaking of that, Zero has come across his Depths 2 boss fight, so... And again, he's going to blow a Sun card right there just to get through this room as quick as possible. He knows he's got catch-up to do, so... It's an interesting, scary move right there. Pretty much have to, though, with that extra Sun card. Well worth it, so he goes back for that. Gonna go right on into his mom's foot. And Grey Mom for him as well, so hopefully... Oh, and the small rock. Hello, freebie. So that's a nice damage up, fire rate increase, and movement speed decrease. So nice job picking it up at the exact perfect time. Ooh, getting right out of the way of what turned into a soccer globin. The one issue is that now there's that, you can see the pedestal where the small rock used to be is still hanging out right there, so that becomes kind of an issue to dodge with. I've had this problem before. Anyways, Cobalt moving on still, just looking for his boss fight here. Oh, if Zero gets a Womb XL at this point, he'll be very happy. That Sun card will get instantaneously popped in the first room he's in. Alright, Mom's heals, a little bit of range, almost unnecessary, although it still affects the shots coming out of Zero's eyes. And regular Womb 1, so again, we're going to see Zero just run right on through this secret room, hoping to find something good here. And again, both just looking for boss fights at this point. And again, Zero needs to win this one, otherwise Cobalt's got himself a 2-0 win, and the undefeated streak continues longer. Spell. Alright, Pinky Eye for Cobaltstreak. I'm actually kind of surprised he's going to take this for now, so he's going to be willing to backtrack, I guess, or he may just not even care. There is that boss fight for him. Pinky Eye's going to add a random poison effect. There's a green shot with poison on it that actually hit an enemy for Cobalt. And speaking of boss fights, Zero's found his as well, so uh-oh. With that Sun card, this might actually be advantage ZeroGamePlan at the moment. This is kind of a tough call. We'll have to see if Cobalt goes back. Like, he may just want that extra damage from Pinky Eye and just say the heck with having the Polaroid. So we got double Loki with Loki 2 on the left side. So double Mr. Cool. Oh god, and the bloat for Zero. Zero melting on through. We're pretty well even on damage. Cobalt with a, well, had a slight advantage to let Bomb actually hit on Zero's side. Why you not use Mom's Bra? Cause I would. Oh god, I'd totally be using Mom's Bra. Jesus. Oh, the bloat. Why do you suck? Why do you suck? Oh god, this dodging. Yeah, you gotta be... Oh, I was gonna say, you gotta be real careful. Jeez. So Zero down, a distinct advantage on Cobalt's side now, as he has plenty of health to play with. As he moves on down to the depth, or the Womb 2, I should say. Utero 2, in this case, expansion version of the floor. But again, plenty of health left at this point. So a new start for Zero, growth hormones, movement speed, and shot speed increase. He was hanging on to the Sun card for the next floor. What I would have done, though, he still had Mom's Bra fully charged as well, so I would have popped that at some point and just sat there and rocked the enemy to death, basically. Now, he would have had plenty of time to get the Bra recharged, most likely. Again, most likely. I was gonna say, okay, who randomly hit Stavos? Now I know. Alright, so tons of money there. How about that dime sound? Oh, he's gonna leave behind the dime? There you go. I was gonna say, you're really gonna leave behind the dime of all things? Ouch. And there you see, Cobalt's using up some of his empty heart containers, turning them into 3 blue hearts for himself. Alright, there's a new Basement 2 boss fight for Zero. And again, like I said, you can see Cobalt using up those empty heart containers just one by one here to make sure he's got plenty of health. And still sitting on plenty of extra health here. So again, 13 bombs. He's going to be able to rock through Mom's heart once he finds it. And he's just going to go ahead and take care of this Mimic. All you have to do is walk into the center on those. If you have an orbital, they'll take damage against them. Again, the flies don't count. But if you have some, well, man, hey, why not? Judgy please. Hit me with a judgy please. And, well, of course, unless you're from Zero's side, then you may be like, dude, screw that. I can't do that right now. Either way, though, hit me with the judgy please if you would on Cobalt's. And, ugh, that bum friend, I don't... Well, wow, he's actually going to take him. Why not take the bum friend with you? He can be kind of a friend, right? Kinda. Not really. He'll pick up all the money that you see on the screen and wind up spitting out items depending on how much money he's picked up. It's usually about every 5 cents or so he winds up giving you an item. So it can be anything. I've even seen him troll bomb me. Homing troll bomb popping out of him. That was a bit trolly. So we got the pony, a little bit of flying and speed increase on Zero's side as he moves on down to Caves 1. That's usually a really good way to get a start here. Ooh, small rock yet again for ZeroGamePlan. So again, damage up. Again, it basically drops out that speed that he just picked up, but damage up and fire rate increase for ZeroGamePlan. So again, he's building a pretty nice start here. Already with red tiers in Caves 1. Not a half bad build going here. Again, Cobalt in Womb 2 at the moment, just looking for his mom's heart fight once he gets through these random rooms. Haha. Okay, so there's the trick. If you're faster than the bum friend, then you can actually pick up all the money in the rooms before he does. Cobalt's just like, yeah, you know what? I don't feel like waiting. Because the bum friend will take forever to pick those up, by the way. Alright, so yet another dead end. Where is this boss fight at? These levels are just being rude. Alright, Justice is one of every type of item spawn there, so 1 key, 1 coin, 1 bomb, and 1 heart for ZeroGamePlan. And again, we'll take the Lover's card with him, which is 2 red heart spawns, finding both his item room and boss fight yet again, so it's given him nice rooms to catch up with quickly here. Ooh, Pinking Shears. Ew, that's a tough call. Zero's going to take flying instead. Pinking Shears, again, would have let you fly for the room you're in, would have cut your head off from the rest of your body, and your body would walk around doing damage to anything it walked into. So a really good item, quite honestly. I may have taken it at least for the boss fight here. But again, flying ability going to help Zero out quite a bit. He can fly right over all that urine on the ground and never take damage. So either way, he got himself a pretty nice space use item to be able to use in this boss fight. Couple extra bombs for Cobalt, and there's that boss fight. One last room. Tammy said. Might as well use up the last of Guppy's paw. Indeed, he'll do that. Take all the blue hearts that he can in place of his red hearts, and with the hearts off the screen, Cobalt in to fight Mom's heart here. So there you see Tammy's head firing off the exact same type of tears Cobalt had in every type of direction. And there you see, well, Pinky Eye finally coming into play on something very useful and actually poisoning Mom's heart there. And doing it for a second time for that matter, so that 10% off chance that you're actually going to get poison afflicted on something is coming in real handy for Cobalt so far. And again, about 15% of the way through, so working along pretty nicely here. Just a few more spawns to give up. Oh, he just missed with that one. I was going to say, here's the one problem. If you're firing in, you're going to wind up hitting those bombs from time to time, just like that. Thankfully, Cobalt still hit with that one poison shot there, though. Doesn't really matter, though. He can take all the damage in the world at this point, and he'll be just fine. So I gotta say, the choice of taking the Pinky Eye, pretty good move instead of taking the Polaroid, because he did not need the extra health and the damage shield, and the poison damage has been rocking it for Cobaltstreak here. So again, he's flying on along, about 20% more damage left to do, a little bit under so at this point. Again, Zero's been playing really good comeback strats here. He's already on the boss fight for Caves 2. But again, just going to be a little too much, or too little too late, I should say, as Cobaltstreak's got about 10% more, 5% at this point. And just a couple more hits, and Cobaltstreak's going to have himself a 2-0 victory and remain undefeated here in Season number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Very nicely done, sir. Once again, your victor, Mr. Cobaltstreak. I've said it every week to this point, and yeah, nothing has ever changed with that. No, seriously, very, very, very nicely done, man. So 2-0 win yet again. Zero, don't feel bad about that one. You had to kind of push it there at the last second. It was all about, like, you're going to